Gertrude Elion, winner of the 1988 Nobel Prize in Medicine, spoke this of her alma mater. "Had it not been that Hunter College was a free college, I suspect that I may never have received a higher education." Elion's work led to the discovery of the life-saving antiretroviral drug AZT. Nearby City College has produced 13 Nobel Prize-winning alums, all attending when the college was tuition-free. Arno Penzias, Nobel Prize in Physics winner, wrote in his Nobel Prize biography that at the time he was attending City College, the college was beginning its second century of moving the children of New York's immigrant poor into America's middle class. The University of California, Berkeley, site of spectacular discoveries such as nuclear energy, remained tuition-free, like the rest of the University of California system, up through the 1970s, providing countless students with priceless education opportunities. Today, unfortunately, University of California tuition has skyrocketed to upwards of $34,000 for California residents and over $60,000 for out-of-state students. Considering that the average income in America is only $50,000 a year, a University of California education often presents as significant a financial burden as does a private school education. The average UC graduate leaves with $20,000 worth of student debt. The State University of New York system boasts some of the lowest tuition in the country, but their average graduate leaves with $25,000 in debt. 66% of public school graduates graduate in debt. This is not the system that propelled Arno Penzias from Jewish World War II refugee to Nobel Prize winner. This is a system that operates contrary to the very notion of its being, that all people, regardless of income, deserve access to higher education. Therefore, I propose to go the way of many of our European peers and institute a progressive income tax model and tuition-free, federally funded universities. In Finland, all citizens have the opportunity to attend one of the nation's universities tuition-free. Finland's GDP and average income are considerably lower than America's, and lower still than the average European Union income and GDP, and lower than their Northern European peers, Germany and Denmark, who also boast tuition-free higher education. Finland is able to educate all of its citizens free of charge using a progressive income tax model that targets the upper income echelons. The highest tax bracket in Finland is 31% and includes all persons making above $70,000 a year. In the United States, by contrast, the average person in the top 1% of earners pays only 35% income tax, and persons in the 95th to 99th percentile pay only around 24% on average. Despite the freezing weather and what may seem to be an oppressive taxation system, the quality of life in Finland has consistently ranked among the best in the world. Students whose parents did not attend college in Finland are only 1.4 times less likely than their peers to attend college. By contrast, in America, students whose parents did not attend college are nearly half less likely than their peers to attend university themselves. Another welcome consequence of free public education would be the effect on private schools. Currently, an Ivy League education costs between $49,000 and $66,000 a year. However, with the advent of just loan-free public college, estimates suggest that enrollment at private universities would drop 7 to 15%. And universally free public education would likely precipitate an even further drop. I argue that a federal income tax does not restrict states' rights because access to education is a fundamental human right as outlined in Article 26 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. A bachelor's degree is considered a near universal requirement for any middle-class job. Lack of access to higher education severely restricts class mobility and prohibits certain students from reaching their full potential through no fault of their own. We need to ensure that the Arno Penziases and Gertrude Elions of this world are not lost. Thank you.
Oh.
All right, great. Do we have questions for Hannah? Yes.
I think that your proposition is fantastic, and I hope that one day it comes to fruition. I'm just wondering, thank you. I'm wondering what we in the room can do to make it happen, and fast, before we graduate.
That's a great question. I really think personally that lobbyists, very powerful lobbyists in Congress, are a big problem. And I would propose that all of you look at where the people you are voting for, where their donations are coming from, because there are no term limits for Congress people and senators, and the more money they get from lobbyists, the more often they can run campaigns. And they have little incentive to raise income tax brackets for the highest earners in the country. That would be my recommendation.
Do we have more questions? Okay, so I just want to take a moment to thank everyone who spoke in our persuasive speech